Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune. Joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, um, I saw you wearing that shirt earlier today, when you had sent a selfie in our group text, and I was going to put the Popeyes employee hunched over. You know what I'm talking about? Meme. And I was gonna say this shirt after being worn 5 times in 1 week.
You know what's funny? This is the shirt that you said you've never seen me wear before.
Yeah, but now I feel like I see it all the time.
I think. Well, I oddly enough, I think I've worn it on the last 3 podcasts.
Here, I got it.
Listen, it's my Saturday shirt, my weekend shirt.
It's your weekend shirt.
It's my going out shirt. You know.
Wow. Wow, Colin. Okay. Well, here's the meme for those watching on YouTube.
Oh, that meme. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, here, let me just zoom in. Anyways, you get the picture. That meme. So I was gonna say that was your shirt.
I promise I wear it once a week, and it just so happens to be on podcast day.
I don't know.
It's the most comfortable shirt. It's the most comfortable shirt in my closet.
I feel like I could challenge you on that, but I'm not. I'm wearing a Russell Westbrook jersey.
You need me to take it. Okay, you need me to take a picture of my shirt every day and send it to you?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you. I'm okay. Don't need that. But I'm trying to think. Anything else? We got housekeeping before we get started. The chip is on its way. The chip is on its way.
Can I get a link to the exact chip so I can see if it's hot enough or if I need to get my own?
It's literally It's literally the Pocky Challenge chip. That's literally the main chip. If you go and look
where is it on the way here? Like, where is it in the shipment?
It gets here on Monday.
Okay.
It gets here on Monday. So, gets here Monday. We'll do the bowl preview podcast since they play a week from today on Saturday. I don't know. We'll do it on Wednesday, Tuesday,
whenever next
Wednesday.
Week. Because you're coming to watch the game.
Yeah, I'm coming to DF Dub Saturday. I think I'm coming on Saturday. So
in-person pod possibly about the obliteration that North Texas will
post game for sure.
Yeah,
post game for sure. So anyways, that's an update just for everybody wondering that we will do the hot chip challenge for the pregame show. We will be on Zoom like this, or not Zoom, StreamYard here just like this. Not in person for that, but yeah,
I am so excited.
It's on its way.
Man, you really lost. What does that tell? What does that say about you as a bettor? You know, losing to a guy that never bets
means I should stop. That's what it means. There's the analysis. I should stop. I did watch. There's a video on YouTube of Tony Hawk doing this challenge.
There's no way you stay like that.
Here's
my prediction. You're about to be. You're gonna try to do You're gonna try to play it off. You're gonna be like, yeah, and you're gonna be like this while I'm talking or whatever. And that's going to hit you, and you're just going to start salivating because that's what it does. That's what it does.
I don't think I'm going to be fine.
I don't think you're going to
I'm not going to put up a facade. Tony Hawk, if you go watch Tony Hawk, which I sent it to you, but I'm talking to all the people watching or listening. If y'all go watch Tony Hawk, he was incredible. And the challenge for them was they were trying to go 5 minutes without drinking anything. So that's what they were trying to do. I don't know if that is the challenge, or if that's what it says on the instructions or whatever that you try to do. But he was just awesome. It was the host, what's his name, Sean of Hot Ones, who was dying, and I was like, man, if Sean is dying, how am I gonna be able to?
What was the spiciest thing you've eaten in the last month?
That's a great question.
Because let me tell you, your taste buds are not ready.
I know. I feel like I gotta
warm them up. It's too late.
Yeah.
No, it's too late. They're not. It's like saying you're gonna run a marathon with a week prep, because that's not. You don't do it. You just don't.
Colin, my blood is from Mexico. I don't think you understand. I will be.
Bruni.
My grandparents will be with me in spirit, and we will get through this together.
They're gonna be rolling over.
They will
yelling at you from the heavens.
But But anyways, so yeah, that's gonna be the hot chip challenge. We should probably set a date for it whenever we know we're gonna do the podcast. You want to say Wednesday? I think Wednesday would be a good day.
Whatever day.
I'm trying to think if I have anything on Thursday that I need to like push back, but I don't think I have anything. So let's try it for Wednesday, tentatively, Thursday night or Thursday afternoon or whenever we want to do it. Sometime on Thursday. That's the plan. No, did I say Thursday or Wednesday? Wednesday. Sometime on Wednesday. Okay. That's the plan. All right. With all that being said, basketball was played, Colin.
Yes.
North Texas played some basketball. Played Grand Canyon. Now, since we last did a podcast on basketball, it's been a while, right?
There's been a lot of football happening.
Yeah, I know. We did after the Paul Quinn game. During the Paul Quinn game, they went to tournament. I don't even remember where the tournament was. They went to a tournament, went 2-1, lost to UNC Wilmington. It was a pretty bad loss. It wasn't even as close as the 4 points was, but they also had good wins over Long Beach State, good win over San Jose State, but a bad loss as well. So then they beat Nebraska Omaha by 30. Doesn't matter. That team sucks. Beat UTA 60-57. I don't think UTA is bad. I saw UTA push LSU. So I know UTA is not terrible, but I would have liked North Texas to maybe pull away a little bit more. But today, Saturday, December 10th, North Texas played Grand Canyon, basically on a road game. The game was in Phoenix at the Suns arena, and Grand Canyon is in Phoenix for those who don't know. So it was basically an away game. And Grand Canyon Grand Canyon is basically the 108th team in KenPom. They are a very, very solid team year after year in the WAC. And
Scott Drew's brother is the coach there.
Scott Drew's brother's the coach there. I knew Grand Canyon would be good. Grand Canyon is a good defensive team most years, and Grand Canyon is also ranked 330th in tempo on the year. So I knew it would be a slow game, lower scoring game. With all that being said, Colin, North Texas gets the job done 60-58 in a game where North Texas, neither team had control, right? Neither team had control. I thought North Texas did a good job late, kind of stealing back momentum here, but overall, I don't think it was anything crazy to this game. But what were your takeaways?
The only takeaway.
Oh God, we're going right into it.
I gotta go right into it. Is if Abu cannot make a layup, this team's gonna have issues. Because let me tell you, the only reason that they won this game is because he was able to get the offensive rebound because he was taller. Only reason they won this game. Because if those putbacks don't go up and go back in, we are having a completely different conversation, and we are way angrier. I guess I'm not angry. I'm angry at Abu.
Yeah.
But we are having a completely different conversation of where this team's at because Abu needs to be an important guy on this team. That he's going to be. We said this earlier in the season when he was missing shots. He has to shoot above 50%. He's shooting 43% right now. I think I sent it to you so I can double check that number. Sorry, 45%. 45% is a big man.
Ooh.
And it's easy stuff. You and I were texting back and forth, just like, come on, man. It's just the last shot. The last shot of the game for North Texas. It was like, he could have put the game away. And then when he missed it, if Grand Canyon makes a 3, they lose that game or push it to overtime with a 2.
Yep.
So and a team like North Texas isn't going to put teams away on the offensive end. It's the way it's always been. It's going to be on the defensive end. So if you got to get your easy ones. And if you can't get your easy ones, Abu's going to play himself off the offensive game plan. Yeah.
And we took it for granted to an extent with Zach Simmons, and we just assumed Abu would be able to step right in and fill his shoes. But it's not easy. It's not easy to hit those post hooks. It's not easy to finish. But we're not even asking him to make tough shots. were asking him to make the easy shots. There were 2 bunnies that he smoked, and including the one that you mentioned right before that could have stretched it to 4 points with like 10 seconds left. He smokes it. They go down and get a chance to tie or win the game. Like, that just can't happen. This team becomes far too perimeter oriented if he cannot finish. And here's a stat for you. We had talked about this earlier in the season, and it has stayed true. North Texas is shooting 41% from 2 this year. That's 351st in the country. And if Abu continues to shoot sub 50, sub 45%, that number's not going to go up. They don't have finishers in the lane besides Kai Huntsberry, who I like a lot, but like asking him to finish at a really high clip to bring your whole offense up is asking way too much. So you have Kai, Aaron I like, that's Jaden Martinez sometimes, but it's Abu. Abu is your paint touches. Like Zach Simmons used to be your paint touches. Abu is your paint touches. And you don't have Javion anymore that can get his way in the paint. So you don't have Thomas Bell who can dribble down into the paint. It's a lot of that shifted to Abu, and he hasn't been able to come through to this point. Like just bluntly, he has not been able to come through. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt during the game, and then that last miss just set me off over the top. I was just like, all right, what are we doing here? If you can't make that, like that's a tip and I would make in 21, and he just smoked it. And I was just like, all right, man.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's he saved himself from my wrath by getting those putbacks because man, I was texting you the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you completely said it. This team's field goal percentage is low, and it comes from Abu. And another issue is Abu doesn't have the same skill set that Zach has, but he has the same type of. He has to play the same way. Zach was able to get double teamed and find guys. Abu can to an extent, but Zach was always doubled and opened up, other avenues for other players. Whereas Abu's not even getting doubled right now because he doesn't need to be doubled, and he's not able to complete those shots against smaller guys. So if Abu can't fix that, we're going to see a lot of really, really, really bad offensive games. And the first half of this game, I was disgusted. I mean, pretty much the whole time. And then Kai finally, did something to start the second half. But like you said, this team can't be perimeter oriented, especially when they don't have, I don't want to say they don't have uber athletic guys that can get themselves open on the perimeter.
Exactly.
Like they're not going to be shaking guys off the dribble to hit a three. I mean, Tyler obviously can do that, but you're not going to be, they're not going to create their own shot every time down the court.
I don't even know how well Tyler can do that, right? Like he can do it.
I guess
there are several possessions that go down the last 5 seconds, and you're just like, all right, Tyler, bail us out. Like, and while again he's very, very good, he can hit that step back at times. He's also 5'10".
That's what I mean.
Asking him to do that consistently, every single possession is asking way too much.
No, that's not sustainable.
No, it's not at all. And so while yes, and this all ties into them being 363rd in offensive, possession length, average possession length. So dead last in terms of offensive tempo, second to last overall. Did you know the only team slower than them as far as overall is Charlotte? Isn't that crazy?
Ew, really?
Charlotte? Yeah, they've come a long way. I don't know how they got down here, but
they've come a long way.
I don't know how they got down here because they used to have those guards that were good. They used to have some players. Now they are very slow as well. So, but regardless, when you're the slowest team in the country, and then you just give the ball to Tyler and say, "All right, make a play or something," there were several shot clock violations. He got bailed out on that 3-point shot.
I can't believe they counted that. Oh, man.
Where he lost the ball and then got out pump faked and the guy jumped and he just bumped into him and threw it up. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But, you get into those situations and it's just not sustainable. It's not. So that's why early in the clock, if you can get Abu on the block to either force help or maybe get a good look at the rim that he can finish, it goes a long way. It just goes a very long way. Because if not, I think if he continues to be inefficient, the offense has to turn to him as like a screener. The offense has to turn to, I think, a lot more Aaron Scott and Jaden Martinez lineups if he can't finish. Because while he is capable of blocking shots and being a good rebounder, Jaden Martinez is just such a more talented offensive player that I think at some point you have to go to him more.
Yeah.
But like that's what it's gonna be. And all I'm saying is that he's playing himself on a little bit of thin ice right now, offensively. That is.
Yeah.
So, what else? What else? I liked how Kai played. I thought Kai played aggressively.
Yeah.
He's shooting 44% from 2, which is actually not bad for a guard. His concern is that he's shooting 27% from 3, so we'll have to see if that comes around at all. But I think when he's aggressive and going to the rim, I think he's fine. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, Kai's going to have to be, the guy that carries his team now, because Tyler can do some of it, but like you said, he's 5'10" and can't always get to the rim, especially when they play bigger teams. So
yeah, Tyler's shooting. What was it? I just saw it. It was like in the 20s from 2.
Yeah,
he's shooting. No, I'm sorry, 35.5% from 2.
Yeah, and he's just not going to be able to carry you, in that aspect. Ruben, I think once he gets up to speed, he'll get there. There was a couple flashes. I mean, that pass he had to Abu that Abu smoked. Was that Abu or Aaron Scott? Actually,
no, it was Scott. Or it was it Scott? Whoever missed it, I think it was Scott.
Yeah, I was pretty upset about that. Sorry, Abu. But I think once he kind of gets his legs under him and catches up, he'll be good. But at the end of the day, this team needs to find some kind of consistency, because last year, like you said, they had another interior presence with Thomas, and they don't have that dominant athletic guy, not even necessarily dominant, just athletic guy that can kind of impose his will, dunking, whatever. So they have to get the easy buckets, and I don't really know how they can get that, because we haven't seen the motion that we were expecting coming this season. They ran a little bit today. I mean, they ran, I guess, what was it, two times up and down the court, and I was like, oh, they're finally running, and then they stopped. But there has to be more. There has to be something else, because you can't keep doing the same thing where it's screen Abu, he moves down to the block, and then you have Kai or Tyler on the perimeter just dribbling until either Abu's open or you get the shot from the guard, because it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, I thought Ruben, he was back. That was good. Good to see Ruben back. He only shot 3 times. I wish he was a little bit more aggressive. In 25 minutes, you need guys to, be a little bit more aggressive when you only have 7-man. It's a 7-man rotation. I mean, Tyree didn't shoot a lick in 18 minutes. So
how disappointing has that been for you?
That what Tyree did?
Tyree 80's not been a factor at all this year so far.
It's been disappointing, I think, because if you look at his stats just in his career, you're looking at a guy who last year went 34 of 90 from 3, so that's 38%. The year before that, shot 39% and from 3. And all these years, he's shooting between 70 and 93s, so that's almost 2.5 a game. And he's shooting 38, 39% for 4 straight years at North Dakota State, which is not a bad school. You would like to get something in that respect. And then from 2, he was shooting 50+% almost every year. That's been one of the bigger surprises that I feel like we're not talking about and we don't even consider, because he just doesn't touch the ball and doesn't shoot.
Yeah.
This guy used to be a pretty good scorer.
Yeah. Like probably third on a team in North Dakota State, right? If I'm saying 10 points, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, just let me get his stats before I.
But regardless, you have to, and I bring up Tyree because I was thinking you have to have a guy to replace a guy like Marjez McBride. You brought up Ruben only shooting 3 shots. Marjez could have his score. We haven't seen a second scorer really outside of, or sorry, I guess third scorer. We haven't seen really a third scorer.
Third scorer. That's
Tyler will get his. Kai will get his.
Yes.
Where is the guy that can step up if those other 2 guys aren't having a good night? And up to this point, Kai has been shooting well from 3. He's been getting points. Tyler, we already talked about his interior field goal percentage. You need to have the other guy that can kind of steady the ship when there is a shooting slump.
Again, it should be Abu, but I don't trust Abu to be
the
number 3 on this team. Tyree last year was first team all defense in the Summit and averaged 10.5 points per game last year and was second on assist. Like, he scored over 1,000 points in his career in 4 years. So
that's what I'm saying. Why aren't he has to be involved somehow in my eyes.
I think you look at the ceiling of this team and you look at how can this team get better. It's Ruben Jones and Tyree. Okay, and obviously Abu making shots. That would be great. Cool.
Yeah.
But you look at Edey and Jones specifically, like I think Martinez is what he is. He's going to shoot the ball. He shot the ball 6 times and went 1 of 6. That's not good, but I think he's going to get about 5 shots a game or so because he is a talented offensive player. Edey's not even shooting.
Yeah.
It feels like Edey is getting JJ Murray treatment where he's a great defender. And so when you're a great defender, like you can't touch the ball. And I just don't think that's fair to him because he is I'm not going to say infinitely. I'm going to be respectful of JJ. He is a lot more offensively skilled and proven than JJ Murray was.
Yeah.
And he's getting 0 shots here. Now, I'm not saying that's the coaches. I'm not saying that's his teammates. I'm saying maybe that's just him looking at how this offense plays, where it is very Perry pound the rock, Huntsberry pound the rock, Abu pound the rock, and there's not enough touches for everybody else here. And that's what goes to your point of saying coming into the year, we talked to Mac before the season. And it's like, we're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. We're going to have to maybe have some more motion. We're going to have some more, get more people involved offensively since we don't have Thomas Bell kind of pounding the rock there. And I was like, okay, this is all great. This all makes complete sense. And now it's like Tyree has just become JJ Murray.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was supposed to happen. That was not the plan. When you get a guy that averaged 10.5 points per game and scored over 1,000 points in 4 years in his career, and he took 0 shots in this game. Like that's just
mind-boggling.
It's nuts. So yeah, him and then Ruben, I think will get better. I think Ruben will get better at that. Knee, I think, is still bothering him, but I think he'll get back from it and be a lot better. But to only shoot 3 times in 25 minutes, I think is also concerning. He's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. So yeah, Kai ends the game shooting 16 times, Abu 14 times, Tyler 13 times, Jaden 6, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I would like that Abu number to be a little bit lower. I think I mentioned it to you. I think it was the UT Arlington game. Let me double check.
Yeah, back. I think it was.
Before I do it. Yeah, he went 4-6, Abu did, from the field. I would love it if Abu shot 6 or 7 times a game instead of 14 times a game. Like, that just feels right. And you can say whatever you want, be like, oh, they're not Abu has the one-on-one matchup, stuff like that. We got to get our paint touches. If he's not shooting 50% from the field, I don't want him shooting 14 times.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't give a damn. I don't want him to double digits. He should not be hitting double digits. If he is 3 of 9, turn it off. Cut off the water. I don't want to see it. That's it.
No, you're right, because then it's what's the difference between shooting that and a midi? There's not a difference. Just give it to Kai and have him hit an elbow jumper instead of Abu trying to
anything.
Yeah.
Or anything. So and I know as I just continue to look at stats and just put together what we saw.
Here's a question I'll ask you, and I kind of asked you this through text. Obviously, you study basketball a lot more than me. What would you – I don't want to say change because the coaches obviously know more with their own team, but what would you like to see from an offensive standpoint to possibly get other players involved?
First, you have to at some point try to play with a little bit of pace.
But what does that look like to you, though?
Pace and go ahead.
So, because toward the start of the second half and a little bit toward the middle of the second half, they kind of had a little bit more pace shooting earlier in the shot clock. But that was once they finally got in rhythm off of Kai. But how do you continue that pace or continue that rhythm instead of just going to dead stop nothing?
I think you can have pace within the half court and you can have pace within the full court. Even if they're not pushing the ball up the court, they need to not only get into the stuff faster, but make a decision of what you want to do. If you're going to run a high ball screen, then go get into it and look for a shot. It feels like whenever they run stuff, it's not for a shot in the first 15 seconds. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest concern. And I don't want to say problem, but players are scared to shoot in the first 15 seconds of the shot.
I was just about to say that. It's almost like they're scared to shoot.
It's not. You can say that's an indictment. You can say whatever you want, but I think it's a fact. You look at guys like a Tyree Edey. You look at Aaron Scott. You look at even a lot of times Kai and Tyler are not looking to shoot in the first 15 seconds of the clock. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And with that being the case, you limit yourself to what you can do in the half court when you're not looking to shoot in the first 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Not only because the defense knows you're not shooting, but because offensively, when you get that late in the clock, what do you have to do? Like, what happens when you get late in the clock, right? You have to simplify. You're either ISOing, you're either ball screening, you're either posting up or driving. Like, that's it. Those are your options. You don't have time for a DHO into a stagger off ball where he's come down off a pin down and, trying to get a 3. And if that's not there, then you have a roll man. You don't have time for complicated things at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the whole point of running offense early in the clock, is that you have options. When you work later in the clock, you have less options. And that's what we're seeing with this team, is that when you work so, and we've seen that the last 4 years, to be fair, you've just had Javion Hamlet, Zach Thomas, guys, James Reese, guys that can bail you out to a degree. This year, they still have guys that are capable of bailing them out, but Tyler Perry's shooting 35% from 2. Kai is shooting 43% from 2. Abu shooting 45% from 2. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So if you're going to play at this pace, you are not going to be shooting a higher percentage from 2, because you don't have the players that you've had the past few years. That's just bottom line. That's just how it goes. So that's why the hope, and that's why I think McCaslin even hoped to a degree that this team would play faster and this team would be able to get shots maybe earlier in the clock, but they haven't been able to do that. And this is just a different team. You don't have that you've had the past couple of years.
Two things. I want to slightly push back on that, because I feel like coming into the season, we thought that these players would be more skilled. Not necessarily as not to bail anybody out. I don't think they're those type of guys, but I feel like they have more uses. They're more dynamic. Tyree Eady is we've said he's been relegated to quote unquote JJ role. Clearly a scorer. Kai Huntsberry, I would argue, is probably the most skilled player on the team and one of the most skilled team players last year. So Aaron Scott, growth. Matthew Stone, I'm not sure about still, but you get those guys, and you should have more dynamicism. Now, I wanted to play to kind of play devil's advocate for the coaching and kind of go against what I just said. What if these guys aren't that? What if they're not what they thought, and that's why they can't do the motion? They can't give it to the other guys because they're just not there yet.
I love this coaching staff, and I want to preface that before I say anything else. The past 6 years have been the same. They have won a hell of a lot of games. All right. Yeah. Never taken anything away from them with that. Great coaching staff. North Texas is lucky to have them 100%. But this is how they're going to play. And for me and you and anybody else, even though McCaslin told us before the year, and he's told me that before several years, this isn't one type thing to where it's been like, I think we're going to play with a little bit more pace this year. I think we're going to push some things. And then all of a sudden, whether it's injuries, whether it's lack of depth, whether it's Javion Hamlet, like whatever the reason is, it's like, oh, well, we're just going to play slow again. Like, yes, you can find reasons, but at the end of the day, you are what you are. Yeah. And you're going to find reasons to go back to what you are. And again, it's won them a lot of games. It won them a game today that against a good Grand Canyon team. So good. Congratulations to them. Our question is, and this is why we're asking the question, is this the personnel that is going to be capable of winning a championship? Because that's what we hold the standard to, whether regular season or tournament. Is this the personnel that is going to be capable of doing what those last 3 teams did?
Yep.
And I don't know the answer to that. I don't think it's as capable of doing that. This team feels like a team more capable of playing with a little bit of pace in the half court, playing with a little bit of pace in the full court.
Yep.
It feels more.
I would say that, the guards and wings feel more athletic.
I mean, Kai is pretty athletic. Aaron's pretty athletic. Jaden's pretty athletic. Ruben is kind of athletic, kind of a ground.
I don't know if you want to count Sissoko.
Sissoko, yeah, but he doesn't play, but he is front court athletic, definitely. Yeah. I think Tyree's a pretty good athlete.
Yeah.
So again, if you look at the years prior, I think it made a lot more sense because you didn't have those type of guys. You had Javion, you had Zach. Reese was the exception, obviously. Reese was a great athlete, love him. Drez was kind of was decently athletic, but you were still playing JJ a lot. You're playing Abu some. You played a guy like, Terrence Lewis. It's like this year's team feels like it has the potential. If you wanted to force the issue on offense a little bit earlier, you could do it. And if you missed, yes, maybe they start running on the other end, but you have to trust yourself at some point.
Yeah.
To get back on defense and get a stop. And
yeah.
I think Kai in the open court, we saw it on a few occasions today, is capable. And that's what I want to see them do more of.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not like we're sitting here saying that the coaching staff should make, huge changes because they're not good coaching staff. It's because we aren't sure that they can win a championship like this, like they have in the past. Like if they play like this and it was convincing, like if Abu wasn't missing bunnies like that, they'd be up whatever amount of points. I'd be like, yeah, if they're playing this way and they're winning by 10 every game, yeah, go for it. But you can't. There is no, and I could be wrong. There is no way you can replicate last season where you win all these close games. You can't. It's just not going to happen.
And then let's remember, even before last year, they weren't even last in pace. Like 2 years ago, let me go back. 2 years ago, they were 350. Okay. And then offensively, they were 331. Before that, they were 333. Before that, they were 275. It's last year where they really went on the end of the spectrum, went 358, and then which was dead last, and then this year 363.
Which we all agreed they had to do because of who they had last year.
Last year they had to do it because you have JJ, you have Thomas, you have Abu, who's unproven, and you had Ruben and it was Adrez. So it's like it felt like they didn't have the talent to do it. This year, to your point, it feels like they have the talent to play a little bit faster, and they're not doing it. And as a result, they're kind of limiting what they can do offensively to this point. Yeah. So, now, if I want to be positive real quick, because I know we're running a little bit long, but offense rebounding, they're top 20. They're going to have to continue to do that. Like, again, if you're not making twos, you better at least rebound the damn twos that you're missing and give yourself a second
Shout
chance.
Out Abu on that.
Shout out Abu on that. They're shooting 35% from three, which is good. I would like that number to be a little bit higher, but it's how you generate those threes. And like we said, it hasn't been the easiest of looks. That much I'll say. So that's going to have to stay above 35%. If that 3-point percentage dips at all, they're cooked. They're cooked. And that's, again, you're playing with very, very slim margins here, playing this style with this personnel because they can't make twos. So you damn well better get offensive rebounds and you better make threes. And they've been able to do that so far. So, and free throws. They're actually making free throws this year a little bit more, 70%. So got to make all those.
Yep.
All right. I think that's all we got. They got UMass next. That's a good game on the 17th. That'll be tough. And then they start conference December 22nd. Probably won't do a podcast until, or at least probably won't do a basketball pod. I don't know when. Maybe after UTSA or something.
I was gonna say after UTSA. I was just looking at that.
FAU is gonna beat the game though, dude. FAU.
They beat Miami, right?
FAU. No. They beat was it Florida? I'm not gonna act like I know their full schedule. They beat Florida Gulf Coast by 30. And they beat Florida earlier in the year.
That's who it was, Florida.
Yeah. They beat the brakes off South Alabama. They beat Detroit Mercy, who's good, Florida Gulf Coast, who's good. It's like that game of North Texas versus FAU. And again, we were holding this team to a very high standard here. FAU and UAB, to me, well, and not just to me, they're both ranked in the top 50 in KenPom.
Yeah.
They're both ranked higher than North Texas.
And let's also, looking at FAU score, they can score the ball.
Oh yeah.
So
38th in offense.
So
sixth in effective field goal percentage.
Yeah.
6th in 3-point percentage. FAU is a damn
something has to break. And that's gonna be the true test and gauge of where we're gonna see this team, going closer toward the tournament and the end of the season. So
yeah. So that FAU game on December 29th will be. I remember a couple years ago when North Texas played Western Kentucky in the first game of the year or of conference, and they lost that game. That'll be the game that kind of tells us a little bit where they are. So yeah, that'll be interesting. All right. And last, anything else? North Texas hires Jared Mosley as the athletic director. Colin, any thoughts?
Safe hire. Good hire.
Good hire.
So
good hire.
Oh, also, we didn't know Phil Bennett was the interim coach because we didn't decide to read the Twitter post. Shout out Phil.
Yeah, shout out Phil. Interim head coach. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, we'll do a preview podcast on Wednesday.
You think he wears the green? You think when he's HC he wears the green, or does he keep the yellow?
You got to keep yellow.
Got to commit to the bit last
That
game.
Would be the craziest. That would be one of the crazier head coach fits. If you think about it, a coach of a green team coming out in bright yellow
with a play card
with a play card right here. That would be something.
I'm rooting for Phil hard because this is the last game of his career. He was retired before this.
Probably. He's probably retiring. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, I'm rooting for Phil. We're rooting for North Texas, of course. Obviously, we always do. And we'll do a preview podcast on Wednesday, post-game show afterwards, probably in person. Even though I don't know how we're going to do that. I guess unless if I stay at your place.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you that closer to coming here. So
okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, that's it. That's all we got for y'all today. We hope y'all enjoyed it. A nice 35-minute basketball podcast. We will be back later this week in a few days. So until then, follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube. Leave a like. I took a long nap before this. So
yeah, he opened up the podcast with the North Texas Daily podcast intro. It was crazy. Dude wasn't even on the same planet.
First 3 minutes, I didn't know where I was in this podcast. You know, after you wake up from a good nap, you're just kind of like.
I don't even know if it was a good nap or if it was just too short of a nap and you just weren't ready.
It was a necessary nap. I've been meaning to take that nap for about 6 hours.
I thought you were going to say like something dumb, like a few days. For me to take that nap for a few days.
I've been waiting for that one. That one got me good. So anyways, but yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. Subscribe to the YouTube, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us on the Facebook right above my head. Are you still posting the Facebook, Colin?
I will say I've been not great about it. I do it like every other podcast.
You've given up?
No, I've not given up. It's just
we
get like 2 page views a month, okay? When I was posting regularly.
All right, so you want to cut it? You want to put something?
No. I'll give it. We'll give it till after the bowl game.
You want
because I will say the numbers did uptick after the Seth after UTSA.
Okay. So if not, we'll change this.
Well, I don't even know what we change it to. What would you change it to?
The YouTube logo.
Is it not? Do we not have a YouTube? I can't see behind my light. What's over here?
No, we don't.
Oh, Spotify. Yeah, we changed it to YouTube logo for sure if Facebook dies.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, all right. That's all we got. We will talk to y'all on Wednesday where I will be eating the hot chip.
Great. I'm so excited. He just prayed.